Hello everyone, this is the Metal Geek, and as always, my partner in crime,
Milky.
Hey guys, this is another episode of Crime Alley, a Gotham podcast.
3.
Episode 3, yeah.
Already.
I mean, seriously, it just seems like we just started this, which, in retrospect, we actually did just start this, but it's pretty cool. This week's episode, Balloonman, we'll get to some news in a little bit, but let's just jump into what we thought of the episode. Very heavy with the Penguin.
Mm-hmm. And just a reminder, spoilers, we've been telling you, you should know by now, but just so you know, we're going to be talking about the episode, so press pause, watch the episode, and come back, press play, and listen to us.
Exactly. As always, we have said before, we don't want to ruin anything for you guys, so this is your chance to walk away now and come back to us. But in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Milky, what did you think?
I thought it was pretty cool.
It was.
I thought, you saw, an aspect of Bruce at the end of the episode. Seeing how justice works and how our legal system works and stuff like that, and, what's crime and what's not crime.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What's murder and what's not murder.
And remember what we were talking about last week, too, how we were like, it would be kind of cool if Gordon sort of became his mentor and he becomes the origin of Batman's detective skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I kind of feel like this
that
episode,
actually came, yeah.
It feels like it's heading that direction. So that looks like, I really do like that. I really love that aspect of the episode. Bruce is showing this level that you can believe this kid is going to become Batman.
Yeah.
And that's great. And once again, Alfred, excellent in this episode.
Yeah, I thought when they were dueling, I thought that was pretty cool.
I love the fact that Alfred was actually dueling.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I could imagine that. Even him growing up in the comics, Alfred was there fencing and stuff.
Yeah, very true, very true. So it was great. They're keeping in line of keeping this Batman show, Gotham, a Batman show without actually showing, the bat. And that says something. If you could watch this show and go, you know what, I squarely feel like this is a Batman show, and you actually don't ever get Batman in there. Mm-hmm. It's a testament. It really is.
Yeah.
So I applaud the writing, the development crew on this show.
And not to keep comparing Gotham to other Batman properties, but it really feels like the first Batman Begins, where it's more, you take Batman out of the picture, it's more of a crime thriller.
Really,
a police drama, kind of, and that's what it feels like with this. It picks up that beat a little bit.
Well, once again, we get a lot of great moments coming out of Harvey Bullock as well. Mm-hmm. Because, again, you can see he's right on the fence, and when push comes to shove, he'll do what he needs to do. But you could also tell that he's a worn-out detective, and he's just
that wants to stay alive.
He wants to stay alive. He wants to keep his nose clean, so to speak, by just following the rules that basically Falcone has created for the city. And you can't really blame him for that, but at the same time, you can kind of see why Gordon is the way he is, because he's the young little rookie detective, and he has a lot of high ideals. Mm-hmm. And based on what we have gotten from even the pilot episode, his father, I believe, was the DA.
Yeah.
And
a respected DA,
a very respected DA. So he wants to bring Gotham back to a level of glory where with Bullock he's like, Gotham's too far gone.
Yeah, it's like, fuck it, I'm here for the paycheck and benefits.
I mean, I can really see his character going either way, becoming good or bad. I really hope it's on the good side.
I think deep down inside that when that moment strikes, he's gonna be good when Gordon needs him to be good. Even that. And, deep down inside, I think he's a good guy.
Even in this episode when Gordon pulled out all the stuff at the end and grabs a hold of the balloon guy. You know? And he's going up, and Bullock's like, what the hell are you doing, Gordon? And in the end, he ended up doing the right thing because he wanted to protect Gordon. But he sat there, thought about it for a couple of seconds. Yeah. In the end, he did do the right thing. So again, for me, Harvey Bullock has been a standout character for me. I think he really has the room for the most development, largely because we know where Gordon's through line is. We know what he wants, and with Bullock, we know what he wants, but we know he's in conflict with what he wants. So generally, the plot of the episode. The idea of vigilantes.
A vigilante running around Gotham.
And, this is... it's Batman Light. It's about the idea of somebody who's taken the law into their own hand. But we also heard Bruce, and this was a great moment. Did you catch it when Bruce was like, no, he was a bad guy because he killed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and so
he knows that line of like, what's good, what's bad. You kill, you're bad. Like, you know.
I mean, in the end, he's going to become Batman, a vigilante. He's going to take the law into his own hand, but he has clearly defined what he is going to allow himself to do.
At least within this universe, because Batman has been known to kill in the comics and stuff like that.
Yes, especially very early on. He used to
carry a gun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Purple gloves and a gun.
I don't think that lasted much past a few issues though of Detective Comics.
Yeah, I don't.
I think Batman's no-kill zone really got defined in the 1980s.
Mm-hmm. I would say so.
I mean, maybe 70s and 80s. 60s is where Batman kind of went through that whole 60s camp revolution, so to speak.
Yeah, with Frank Miller kicking it off.
Frank Miller really changed things with the Dark Knight. Year one, and then the Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
And DC Comics threw the gloves down at that point and were basically like, we're not playing games anymore. We're writing adult storylines. Yeah. And when you have people like Frank Miller and Alan Moore
in their heyday,
I mean, there's no denying that The Killing Joke is a very disturbing comic book.
No, without a doubt.
I mean, it also defined a good portion of the DC universe for a while too, because that's where Barbara Gordon was paralyzed and she would become Oracle and the Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
So Alan Moore actually kick-started a big part of the DC universe for a very long time until the New 52 came out and it kind of rebooted the universe. But straying off from the episode a little bit there, but it's great comic fact because a lot of this stuff does come up into the show too.
Yeah, they take pinches from here and there.
Here and there, absolutely. It's kind of like The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises took very heavily from The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
I know people kind of have a love-hate relationship with The Dark Knight Rises. Exactly. But it did have some legitimately wonderful moments, and especially for Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon was a badass.
Gordon's always a badass. I mean, that's I guess that's why they gave him his own show in Fox.
Well, they finally brought to light, it was always, at least in Nolan's, they gave Gary Oldman, a free reign and gave Gordon a voice compared to Tim Burton, so he was just,
he was just
a side character.
I mean, I think the first time I can distinctly remember anything giving him more than just a side note kind of characterization outside of the comic books is Batman the Animated Series.
Oh yeah, he was a pivotal character.
Very pivotal, and that carried over even into Batman Beyond, where
Oh yeah, where Barbara
takes it over.
Same ideals,
Yeah, and she kind of kicks it in there and stuff.
She's like a mix between Bruce and
because
her father.
Because she actually was a vigilante at one point, and then
raised by Gordon, trained by Bruce.
Gotta love that. But one thing I really loved about this episode again is the contrast that contrasting kind of relationship between Harvey Bullock and Gordon. Jim is. I love how he's such a great, noble, stand-up kind of citizen.
Yeah.
And Bullock is like, I served my time. I've paid my dues. I just need the paycheck. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. Oh, what'd you think of Selena Kyle and Gordon in the beginning, where she leads her to she leads him to the alley where the Waynes were killed? I mean,
I'm starting to believe her a little bit more that she may have seen the face, but I still think it might be a red herring just so she doesn't end up in juvie. But she, we do know clearly that she saw the murder because
I think she knows the guy because she's seen him before in some light.
Maybe she's witnessed him doing something else.
Yeah, or
something. I mean, it was nice to see that she was trying to gain his trust, but at the same time, she was still messing with him too,
and kind of warning him, I'll fuck you up.
I'll mess you over. Look at. I mean, I might be 12
I'll
years
help you
old,
out.
but I just picked the lock on these handcuffs, and I'm leaving you high and dry in a sewer. That was no. So
now, would you believe in this universe if it was a carry on until Batman becomes Batman and Catwoman becomes Catwoman? You think Gordon would know who Catwoman was? Based on what's going on now?
I mean, her nickname, she flat out told him last episode to call her Cat. So
yeah,
I mean, I kind of feel like at this point they're not really the show is not really out to keep a secret identity for Selena.
Yeah. No, I was just a random thought. Like,
but I think
when I was watching the episode.
I think he would absolutely know because I mean the way it's going with Selena, he's working very closely with both Selena and Bruce, and you don't get that close and not
pick up little things
up
here
something. So I mean, I do believe that if in theory that this Bruce were to become Batman by the end of the series, with some major time jumps. Gordon would know. He would know. Or he might not say anything. He might even let it go. That would be an interesting take. Is like he knows Bruce is Batman, but he's keeping it quiet.
Yeah, like it's good for the basically the whole end of Dark Knight Rises.
But I mean, also in reality, if
Gotham needs a Batman.
Exactly. In reality, if we are going to get Batman, the Dark Knight in this series. We would have to make some major time jumps.
No, that was just like a random, if he's seeing the kids now, like.
Well, I mean,
with him being a detective and all that.
I mean, Gordon's a great detective. I don't think he would fall for that. Yeah. It makes more sense in a comic because Gordon doesn't. He knows Bruce and he knows Batman, but this show is actually building a full relationship between the two. So.
We also saw Fish Mooney take out Falcone's girl.
Oh, yes.
Well, not take her out, but had one of her goons jump her.
Yes, and Falcone very much made note that he pretty much knew.
Yeah.
And he's going to let it slide for now because this is Falcone. But it's interesting to see where this is going to go. But let's move away from that for just a second because playing in the background we have the Penguin.
Ooh.
I mean, the Penguin...
Hiding in plain sight. That's kind of cool.
He really is.
Think about it.
He really is. In fact, when he shows up at Gordon's doorstep...
Yeah, that was so creepy.
It was very creepy. It was legitimately, I think, the most comic book moment in the show that actually creeped me out. Because there's a lot of silliness in the show that kind of comes up. In fact,
and they're actually finding their mix between cartoony comic or
they are the
campy to real life. It's starting to pick up.
It's picking up, but I mean, at the beginning of the episode, I won't lie to you. When they had that whole Balloonman thing going on, I was just like, oh my god, this is so comic book cheese. And I loved every second of it. Again, I want to point out, and I've said this in every one of our podcasts so far, I do love the comic book cheese, I do love the gritty drama. I kind of want them to clash less and meld more. But at first I thought, oh my god, this balloon thing is just so far comic booky. I just don't see it working for the episode. But by about mid-episode...
It was kind of a cool concept, though. A fucking huge-ass weather balloon.
Well, yeah.
Takes you away.
Once they started getting into the logistics of it, it's like there's no body to be found.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh no, eventually...
And I think they took a little too long, because I was like, when it drop, when it just, splatter on someone, and then 10 minutes later, you saw, they revealed, and it took out a lady crossing the street.
A body flying down, it's like, a lady looks up, and it's like, oh, crap. But...
Splat. That was morbid with the shovels.
Death by falling man from weather balloon.
Yeah.
Gotta give it take for originality.
That's what Bruce means by murder.
Yeah.
He killed the lady crossing the street.
Okay, so easily for me the plot of this episode was not so much about just, let's catch the balloon man and stop him from killing these people. I think the plot line was more in line of defining the line between being a vigilante that had, a hero, so to speak, and just being a flat out vigilante. It's kind of like the idea, a lot of arguments I've had with, debates and stuff that I've had with other people is the idea behind Batman, who will take it right to the edge without going over the edge, and then there's the Punisher.
He'll just put a bullet in your head.
He's just like...
Doesn't even give you a chance to talk.
He's just like, bang, you're done, Batman, I think the closest Batman ever got to killing outright...
Would you be able to do that?
Just put a bullet?
Yeah.
In all honesty...
Or would you be a Batman and bring him right to the edge? What would you...
I mean, if I were a vigilante, and I'm sure that me and my body type wouldn't support that, but
me either.
But if I could be a superhero, I wouldn't actually be the Punisher type. In all honesty, I don't even really know if I could be the Batman type. I think I'd be a little closer to like the Superman.
But what makes Batman Batman.
He does.
Being right there, like
he's right there without pushing it over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
I think the closest he ever got in modern comics was in the 80s with the Death in the Family series where Robin is killed by the Joker and Batman goes after the Joker and comes very damn near close to killing the Joker but pulls back last minute.
Yeah.
You got to push Batman to the brink if he's going to get to the point where he's even thinking about killing you.
And it's the Joker of all people. The body count behind that guy.
The body count behind the Joker, I mean, just the numerous people that have died from his laughing gas.
He pisses on Deadpool.
Well, it's
body count.
Well, Deadpool's a whole different story.
No, I know. Yeah.
But you know, this particular episode, what was so great about it is it definitely showed a progression forward.
Yeah, definitely.
It was moving forward. It was more about the Arkham stuff in there too.
Yeah, a little more hints. Oh, actually, spoiler, but episode 4, next episode's titled Arkham.
Yeah, it is. Now, whether Arkham gets reopened or not, I'm not sure, but we know it's going to be about Arkham anyway.
Not to jump ahead with speculation, but I have it in my head right now that Bruce sees the line of murder, of good and evil, basically. Yeah. Murder. I think he's going to fund his money, realize that he has Arkham as his disposal to say.
And you can put these people away.
And, open that up, throw money into that, and get these people in there.
I guess the biggest problem with Arkham has been throughout the comics, different various series, especially animated series, is that the villains have a really hard time staying behind the doors.
Yeah.
But that would be a great thing to. I really like that speculation that
like Bruce, Wayne Tech.
Yeah, Bruce is gonna be like, you know what, we can't kill them, but we can lock them up and we can treat them. Maybe we can make them better people. Maybe that's his rationale.
Yeah,
is that
rehabilitate
these people. And now what I would love to see, and I know it's too early for this, I know it's way too early for this, but it's just me being a crazed out fanboy, but if in the next episode we get somebody who walks in and their name happens to be Dr. Quinn, just because I would love a reference to Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I'm not big on I'm not overly crazy about peppering in ideas. I love that. I love getting that stuff in there.
Well, if you're gonna go there, I would love to see a Dr. Freeze.
Why not?
I would love to see an older guy, you know.
I think that's one major villain we haven't really even gotten a glimpse or a mention of.
Yeah.
There's the possibility of the Scarecrow in the next episode.
Mm-hmm. And as of this recording, they just last week after we stopped recording, I went on and found out that they got a Two-Face. That I forget the actor who's going to be, but it's going to be Harvey Dent. Yeah. Nice.
So a little bit of news for you a little earlier in the podcast. We're going to have a Harvey Dent sometime this season. That's
hopefully, fingers crossed.
If he becomes a main character, it'd be really nice to see his progression into Two-Face.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've seen it a million times before, but imagine being able to take 2 seasons to build something like that.
Yeah.
Because if you get so attached to a character like that for a couple of seasons, and then they with the snap of their finger just decided that they were going to go ahead and make them the villain that we know, you're gonna be like, well, no, I like this character now. Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
You know.
And by the time Batman becomes Batman, they'll be old guys, so they'll be able to beat him a little faster.
I mean, we do have to watch. I mean, Penguin's not so far off because Penguin's maybe early 20s right now.
Yeah, that's fine. So
by the time Bruce becomes
I just thought Harvey, because Harvey looked like it was going to be a little older guy. Really? Probably around Penguin and Riddler's age. I thought he could be around Bruce's age or a little younger than Bruce.
True enough. Now, we talked a lot about various things here, but the one thing I want to really go back to is the Penguin.
Oh yeah, we keep that.
Well, the Penguin, the one thing that I like him hiding in plain sight. If there's one thing I actually have been getting a little discouraged about with the Penguin, is I think they're making him a little too stab happy. He's stabbing everybody.
Yeah, he's a little more like the Joker,
Yeah, I mean,
Joker-esque.
Maybe this is the Penguin's growing pains, and he's trying to grow, you know. But at the same time, it just seems like, okay, the guy, he wanted whatever happened to the guy that he stole the shoes off from? I mean, he's likely stabbed to death in an alley.
Yeah. Still waiting for that bus.
And it's still waiting for the bus. But it just feels like they're maybe making him a little more violent than he needs to be at this point. I mean, he's kind of struggling and trying to make his way into the, like... Right now, I know he's going to try to use Jim Gordon. I mean, this is really building up, and I'm pretty sure he's going to try to use Jim Gordon to get good graces back in the city by trying to help him take down Falcone.
Yeah.
But the question I have is that, can this Penguin become the Penguin that I know, or is this Penguin going to be more of the Danny DeVito?
Yeah, I was about to say that, like
kind of like gruesome, really the gruesome, wretched kind of character. And mind you, I love Tim Burton and I loved his two Batman films, but I'd have to say that Tim Burton's Penguin was my least favorite version of the Penguin, largely because I like the more upright citizen, I'm smarter than you kind of Penguin. Not necessarily the Penguin that like in the Burton movie where he's going to bite your nose off.
Yeah.
Or...
I'll play you like a heart from hell.
Yeah, and then, Danny DeVito is just... he can play despicable very well, but this Penguin I like, and I like what they're doing with him. I want them to get him away from the more violent aspect of him. I think if the Penguin is stabbing so many people, it's going to leave a paper trail back to him. Mm-hmm. And eventually Gordon's going to be like, you've just murdered like a fifth of Gotham.
Yeah.
Trying to get where you are. And why am I helping you? And why are you even trying to help me? So I don't want them to overplay this. I think they might be coming a little close at that point. And I do love the character.
And who knows, Gordon could go say, like, he could do whatever for a Penguin and be like, disappear. I don't want to see you again, or else I will really kill you. I won't see him actually killing him, but like...
his first warning to the Penguin was, don't come back to Gotham, because it was like, if you come back to Gotham, they're going to kill you if they know you're alive. I have just given you an out. Take the out. Yeah. And, of course, the Penguin turns around and comes right back to Gotham and shows right up at Jim Gordon's door. Now, that I loved.
Yeah, that
when
was
he showed up. Another thing I loved, too, just prior to that scene, when Jim Gordon is talking to Barbara, and Barbara's kind of offhandedly questioning him about Cobblepot's death, and not really saying it, but kind of bringing it up, like the corruption up and stuff like that. And she's like, "Could you bring yourself to killing somebody?" And he leaves it up to her to decide, and she decides that he couldn't. That for me was a perfect character moment. It was also perhaps one of the most genuine human moments that I've seen in the show thus far.
Yeah.
And I really love that moment, to be completely honest with you. That right there is the standout scene since the pilot. And I like everything that I've seen. But that one right squarely there was the scene that I was like, those characters can really grow now.
Yeah.
It really can grow. So, we've talked quite a bit about the episode. What nitpicks did you have about this one, if any?
The only nitpick I had with this episode was when Gordon fell from the sky with the guy. That was the only thing. He was clearly above, and then all of a sudden...
He dropped about 10 feet before he actually fell.
Little nitpick, but other than that, nothing really. I liked it a lot. I thought, like, it brought to light what the future's going to hold for Bruce, and set him down that pathway. And, like I said, like I keep on saying in the previous weeks, I can't wait to see where this goes. Especially with next week being Arkham. That's going to be very interesting.
No, I'm definitely looking forward to next week.
Did you have any nitpicks?
Yeah, I think originally when the episode started, it started off very dramatic and very gritty crime drama, and then all of a sudden it was a balloon that sucked them up into the air. I was a little jarred by that. I later in the episode came to appreciate that because where they were going with the idea behind it. But I felt once again it was a moment in an episode where the comic book moment with the noir grittiness didn't quite work with each other as well as it should have. I think my biggest nitpicks of any of the episodes would probably be that I just want to see that that gritty,
where it blends together.
Yeah, the blending of the comic book and gritty.
I thought overall this episode it did a little better to push, like what I said before, to push it into that direction. But like what you're saying, like I want to see it more like unified.
Yeah, it was definitely much better in this episode. I'm not going to complain by any means because I do think they actually really did up it quite a bit. That was really my biggest nitpick. I too caught the Gordon being like, it had to be probably about 25 feet in the air, and then all of a sudden when he fell, he maybe only fell about 7 feet. It's just like, so there was some continuity stuff too. But no major nitpicks. Before we get into the news and stuff like that, I'd like to actually give the episode our rating. Which once again, guys, we do a 5-star rating, but instead of stars, it's going to be batarangs. So for me, once again, this one doesn't quite reach the 4 level for me, but it's very close.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
Same thing. Like
I'm going to give it 3.9. 3.9 batarangs out of 5.
I agree.
The show is definitely finding its footing and it's getting there. It just wasn't quite there yet. And I think with Arkham, an episode like Arkham has every ability of pushing it to the high level it needs to get to. So you agree right around that point, 3.9?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're giving it a 3.9 batarangs out of 5, guys. So with that said, we're going to move on to a little bit of news. The episode this week did drop a bit in the ratings, unfortunately. It didn't drop far, thankfully. But the pilot episode averaged 8 million viewers. Last week's episode averaged about 7.5 million viewers. This week was about 6.5 million viewers, so they did lose about 1 million viewers. But that's not uncommon for a new show.
And keep in mind, it's competing against Monday Night Football and The Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. And The Big Bang Theory has an established audience of many years now.
Yeah.
So it's also, guys, these ratings are coming at you before DVR numbers are factored in. So they very quickly, not to get overly informational about how the rating systems work on TV. It used to be basically what the live ratings were based
live at home.
Live at home. But now they factor in DVR ratings. So there is like I think it's like a 3-day.
It's usually by the weekend you have a solid number.
You have a solid number.
And we're currently recording on a Wednesday, so...
Yeah.
But definitely by next episode we could have those numbers.
Yeah, the live viewings were about 6.5 million this week, which still isn't bad by any means. It's more than enough for, if it holds right around that 6 to 6.5 million viewer level, it's more than enough for a station like Fox to keep the show going. Again, guys, if you like the show, watch it live. I know not all of us are taking place in the Nielsen ratings.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have that box thing in their home, but still, watch it live. Watch it on Fox.com. Support it. Don't go out and pirate or torrent it. That's not going to help the show.
Yeah, especially if you want to see more seasons of it.
Especially
because as of now, there's no talk of season 2. There could be, we just haven't heard, but it hasn't got picked up yet.
The likelihood is we won't hear much until probably around March or April. But if the show does exceptionally well, it can get an early pickup. So, do you have any news to add, Joe?
Not real. Besides Harvey Dent being cast.
Okay,
nothing
but
really.
That's still a big bit of news, and it's worth mentioning again. So we do have a Harvey
I forget
Dent.
the actor right now who plays him, but who's going to play him? But
we'll try to get that information for you guys for the next podcast. Well, let's kind of like look at the speculation. We've been speculating quite a bit actually during this podcast. So just a retouch real quick because I don't want to go overboard with the speculations, but Bruce is definitely growing as a character. We definitely can see the beginnings of a Batman. I still speculate that Gordon's going to be a large part of what actually, Bruce developing the detective skills. That's what happens when you don't drink enough water, folks. But my speculation also is I really think that the Penguin is going to be a major, major player by the end of this season.
I think so too.
If not, maybe even the head of Gotham at that point. Do you think that Falcone is going to make it through the entire season? Do you think he's going to be popped off?
I could see this episode him running
Gotham,
and then by the end of the season, Fish Mooney taking over.
And then maybe
end of second season have Penguin, because they'll all be a little older.
Yeah.
And you could definitely time jump if needed.
You could definitely do that. And I think that would be an interesting dynamic to have basically the lackey henchman become your greatest foe, so to speak. That's really all I really want to talk about, though, for speculations for this week. Guys, just going to come at you with a little bit of information. As you know, we do have a Facebook page out there. We do actually have a YouTube channel up. And, John, we got a couple of other things, too, right?
Yeah, I'm working on kiwi6.com/Crime Alley Podcasts. And you could always email us with questions or what you thought at crimealleypodcasts@gmail.com. And we'll both be at New York Comic Con this weekend. Handing out flyers, so come say hi.
At the time of this recording, guys, we're 1 day away from New York Comic Con kicking off for the weekend. I'll be there all 4 days. Milky will be there on Saturday. If you guys live in the greater New York area, or if you're going to New York Comic Con, I'll be passing out some flyers. Milky will be passing out some flyers on Saturday. I'm going to try to make it out to the Gotham industry panel. They're going to be talking about the season, maybe show an episode. I think it's going to be more about just the season, though. And there's going to be questions and answers. So if I get any info there, I'll come at you with that info next week. Maybe even throw up a little bit of a live at Comic-Con thing. We'll see how that goes. But if you see us around, guys, I know you don't know what we look like, but if you see somebody peddling out some flyers,
wad of flyers,
saying Crime Alley Gotham Podcast with a bunch of information on it, that's us. We're looking forward to you guys commenting on Facebook, YouTube, downloading our episodes. Hopefully, we're still working on it, but hopefully we'll get this stuff up on iTunes.
Yeah, definitely working on that. Yeah.
With that said, guys, not much else to say for the week. I will try to have this up before the weekend comes out. This is the Metal Geek signing off. This is my partner in crime,
Milky.
Have a great one, guys. Again, Monday nights on Fox, 9 o'clock, Gotham. Watch every week, and then tune in to us for an interesting, hopefully, we hope it's an interesting discussion.
Arkham.
Hey, I mean, Arkham, well, it's Arkham.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Guys, have a great one.
See you next week.